Yeah. Guys, in the last session, we have done the implementation for service registry. We already implemented our service registry application. Can you tell me what is the purpose of service registry? Yeah, it is used to register all the services that are available in our application. Then after we have developed admin server application. Okay, what is the purpose of admin server? It is used to monitor all the actuator endpoints of our application. Then I have taken Jipkin server. What is the purpose of Jipkin server? Come on. It is used to understand request processing details, that is used for distributed tracing. And we developed one API with a name called Greet API. And we developed one more thing called Welcome API. Okay. Greet API and Welcome API. These are called as our microservices. And I have implemented inter-service communication. I implemented inter-service communication. What is the purpose of inter-service communication? One API is communicating with the another API. For this inter-service communication, I'm going for PN client. Okay. What is the benefit with the PN client? What is the benefit with the PN client? We no need to hard code the URL of that. We no need to hard code the URL of that. Here, I'm writing one annotation called @enable discovery client. What is the meaning of enable discovery client? It is used to register with the Eureka server. And I'm writing one annotation, enable PN clients, to enable PN clients in the application. Here, I'm writing one PN client. PN client is a class or PN client is a interface. My PN client is a interface. Who will provide the implementation? In the runtime, Spring Cloud will provide the implementation for that. We no need to provide the implementation for the PN client. Implementation will be provided in the runtime. Now, here, whenever we call this method by using our welcome REST API, REST controller is calling greet client dot invoke greet API. Invoke greet API is my PN client method. When I call this method, it will get the URL based on the API name. Who will maintain the API name and API URL? Service registry. So here I'm using, assume that in my API, I'm having PN client. I'm having PN client. Assume that. Here I'm maintaining PN client. Here I'm maintaining PN client because I want to communicate from one API to another API. For that, we are going with PN client. This PN client will communicate with the service registry to get the service details, and it will send get request to greet API with the /greet URL pattern. Greet API will give some response. That response I will store into my string variable. Greet API response plus welcome API response available. Combined response we are getting. Okay. Now currently, if you go for our application architecture, let me run all these projects, guys. Service registry is available. Right click on this, run as boot application. Then go for admin server, run as boot application. Okay. Localhost colon 8761. Localhost colon 8761. It is available. Right. Any instance registered with Eureka? Currently, no instances available with Eureka. Admin server also started. Localhost colon 1111. Right? Admin server, no application available. Go to Jipkin. Go to Jipkin server. It is a jar file. Just go to command prompt java space -jar space Jipkin server. Jipkin server will run on the port number 9411. Localhost colon 9411. Localhost colon 9411. I'm running my Jipkin server. Okay. After this, let me run our API. First, I am running Greet API. Run as boot application. Greet API is running on the port number 8081. Let us see that. Greet API started. What is the port number of the greet API? 8081. Now let me run welcome API, run as boot application. Go to the console. Welcome API is also getting started. Refresh the API, service registry, greet API registered and welcome API also registered. Admin server, both APIs are registered. Chipkin, any data available? No, I have not accessed my APIs. Observe carefully. Localhost colon 8081 localhost colon 8081/greet. I'm able to access my greet API. I got the response. Go to admin server. They are available. Go to Jipkin. Click on run query. Yes. How many requests I sent from browser? Currently, I send only one request. That request also I have sent for greet API. How much time it has taken? 8 milliseconds it have taken. In this request processing, how many APIs involved? One API only involved in the request processing. I am directly sending the request to this greet API. This greet API running on the port number 8081. Got it? Now let me send the request for welcome API. Localhost colon 9091/welcome. What is the logic in the welcome API? What is the logic in the welcome API? PN client available to access greet API. That means request will come to welcome API. Welcome API will talk to greet API and I will get the combined response. So when I send this request, how many APIs will involve in the request processing? One API or two APIs? One API or two APIs? Two APIs will be involved in the request processing. Enter that. Now see, am I getting combined response? Yes, I'm getting good evening and I'm getting welcome to Ashok IT. Go to Jipkin server, run the query. Two requests are available. Okay, if you see, I send a request for whom? Welcome API. Expand it. What it is telling? What it is telling, guys? Boss, previously when I sent a request 2 minutes ago, only greet API involved in the request processing. Now I send a request to welcome API. Along with the welcome API, greet API also executed. How many APIs are involved in our request processing? We can track it by using Jipkin server. Jipkin server will tell you which request processed by which API. How much time it has taken to process the request? Everything we can get by using this. Are you able to follow me? Right. So here, this request has taken 92 milliseconds. Go here, show this. So when you check this information, greet API has taken 8 milliseconds. Welcome API taken total 92 milliseconds. In that 92, this 8 milliseconds also involved. So welcome API received that request. Welcome API communicated with the greet API. Greet API given the response to welcome. Welcome API has given the final response. This is inter-service communication. One API is communicating with the another API. Are you clear with my point? Now let's understand one problem. Let's understand one problem. There is one person. Okay, there is one person. For this person, I'm giving 10 kg bag to carry. I'm giving 10 kg bag. 10 kg weight is there in my bag. I have given this bag to one person. Can he carry that? Aram se, he can carry. Suppose if I give 20 kg bag, if I give 20 kg bag, he can carry. If I give 100 kg bag, no. If I give 150 kg bag, can he carry or he cannot? He cannot, because his energy is not sufficient to carry 100 kg bag or 150 kg bag. In my ground floor, I have 150 kg bag. I want to get it to second floor. Can I use one person to get that bag? No, because it is a heavy weight. It is heavy weight. If I take that bag, if I keep on that person will die. Can he carry that bag or he cannot carry that bag? He cannot carry that bag. If I give 10 kg bag, easily he can carry. If I give 20 kg, easily he can carry from ground floor to second floor. But 100 kg, he cannot carry. 150 kg, he cannot carry. When the weight is less, person is able to perform the task. When the weight is more, person is not able to perform the task. Are you guys getting my point? When the weight is less on the person, he is able to travel from ground floor to second floor and complete the task. When the weight is increased, that person is not able to complete the task. Now, similarly, here I'm having one server, Tomcat server. In that server, my application is running. Okay, if 100 request comes, my application can access. My application can be accessed for 100 users. My server is capable to handle 100 requests. Okay, my business is running successfully. I'm getting 1000 requests per second. Still, my server can handle 1000 requests. This is one server. Inside that server, my API is running, or I can say my application is running in the server. When 100 user access my application, it is able to process. My server is capable to process 100 requests. My business increase, more number of customers are coming. 100 requests I'm getting to my server. 1000 requests I'm getting to my server. When I get 1000 requests to my server, still it can handle. For example, if I get 1 lakh requests at a time, if I get 1 million requests at a time, if I get 1 million requests at a time, my server may not be able to handle 1 lakh, but okay, 1 million capacity not there. My server is not capable to handle 1 million requests at a time. Now tell me, here when I use less bag, when I give less bag, person is able to carry. When I give more weight bag, when I give a bag with more weight, person is not able to carry. Similarly, whenever we deploy our application inside a server, whenever we deploy our application inside a server, if a less number of users are accessing our application, then server can handle that request. 1000 requests, 100 requests, 1000 requests, 1 lakh requests, okay. But when I go for 1 million, my server will die. My server will crash. My server cannot handle 1 million requests which are coming to my application. Okay, guys. So here 100 kg bag is available. What I will do, that 100 kg weight, I will divide into 5 bags. One bag I can't travel. I can't transfer that complete bag. I will divide that into 5 bags. I will give to 5 people. 5 people will carry those bags to second floor. Similarly, in the real time, we should never execute our application in one server. In the real time, our application should not run in one server. If our application runs in one server, then what is the problem? If millions of requests are coming to our application, our server will be crashed. If a huge number of requests are coming to our application, our server will be crashed. So that's why what people will do in the real time, they will run our application in multiple servers. Same application I will run in multiple servers. This is my app. Here also my app will execute. Here also my app will execute. Okay, so this is called as instance 1 of the same project running in one server. This is called as instance 2, second server. This is called as instance 3, that is called third server. In all the 3 servers, same code is running, same application is running. If I run my application in one server, then what is the problem? If I run my application in one server, then what is the problem? Performance is the problem. If I run my application on one server, performance is the problem. So application cannot be executed. Server cannot handle the request. Server might crash also. Server might crash also if we run our application in the single server. Now imagine how many people will use WhatsApp at a time? Not millions, billions. Not millions, billions. How many people will use Facebook at a time? How many people will use Zoom at a time? Do you think that those applications are running in one server? Not at all. If application runs in only one server, these many users cannot access that application at a time. That's why in the real time, people will use a concept called load balancer. What is the concept, guys? They will use a concept called load balancer. What is the meaning of load balancer? Load balancer is used to distribute the request to multiple servers which are running our application. So our project will be deployed into multiple servers because so many requests will come from the users. All the requests cannot be handled by one server. To distribute incoming requests to multiple servers, we are going for a concept called load balancer. What is that? What is a load balancer? What is the purpose of load balancer? Come on. What is the purpose of load balancer? Load balancer is used to distribute the load to multiple servers which are running our application. So we will take multiple servers. We will run our application in the multiple server. When the first request comes, go to first server. When the second request comes, go to second server. When third request comes, go to third server. When the fourth request comes, go to first server. Round robin technique. What is the meaning of round robin technique? One after other. One after other. The request will be processed. Now, I want to implement that load balancing in our project. Are you guys getting my point? I want to implement that load balancing in our project. Before going to do that, I want to make one small change in the greet API. I want to tell you the request is processed by which is server in the greet API. I will run greet API with multiple servers. I will run my greet API in three servers, guys. API is available. These boxes represents instances. So two boxes are available. What is the meaning of that? It will run in the two servers. If I give three boxes, what is the meaning of that? Greet API will be running in the three servers. Greet API will run in the three servers. Three servers means three instances. Can I run two servers with the same port number? Can I run two servers with same port number in the same machine? No, I need to give the different port number. Okay. Now observe. I will go to greet API, guys. Observe the coding. I will go to greet API. Greet REST controller is available. In this greet REST controller, I will inject one component called environment. That is from Spring Core. From the Spring Core, I'm injecting one object called environment object. I will give env. That is a variable. Environment object is available. So let me go for auto wiring. What is the purpose of auto wiring? Injecting one object into another object. By using this env, I'm going to get env dot get up property of server dot port. I'm going to call one property that is called server dot port. So what is the server port? In which server your API is executing? Get the port number of the server. That is the meaning of that. I'm injecting environment object. I'm injecting environment object. Env dot get property. For that I'm giving server dot port number. I'm giving server dot port number. Go here, store that into a variable. Return type is a string. String, I'm taking port. String, I'm taking port here. Env dot get property server dot port is available. I got the port number. In the response, I will send port number also. Okay, guys, I'm sending port number also in the response. Okay, so whenever you send a request for the greet API, what response greet API will give you? Good evening, and what is the port number of the server? In which server your greet API is executed, that port number it will give me. Now, in the greet API, I have done one port number configuration. So if I configure the port number here, always it will start with which port number? 8080. If you want to 8081, I have given the port number as 8081. If I want to run one instance, if I want to run greet API in one server, 8081 is fine. But I want to run the same project in 3 servers. I want to run the same project 3 times. So 3 times, can I use the same port number, or I have to use the different port number? I have to use the same port number, or I will go for a different port number? Different port number. Why different port number? In one machine, one process can use one port number. Okay. For this, I will remove port number from the YML file. Okay. What I have done now? I have removed port number. So by default, which port number it will take? 8080. How many times I can run with 8080? Only one time. But how many I want? 3. Why I should go for 3? Load balancing. I want to show you load balancing. What is the meaning of load balancing? Come on, what is the meaning of load balancing? It is used to distribute the load to multiple servers. Load balancing is used to distribute the load to multiple servers. Are you able to follow me? Perfect. Good. Here, let's go and start the projects. Guys, observe. Project I'm going to start 3 times. Same project with the different port numbers. Okay. First, let me start. My load balancing is completed already. Okay. Coding wise, I don't need to do anything because I'm using PN client. What PN client will do? Communicate with the greet API. Am I giving the URL for the greet API? I'm giving the name of the greet API. I'm giving the name of the greet API. Very good. With that name, it will get the URL. Earlier, how many URLs available for greet API? One URL. Now I will run greet API in the 3 servers. I will show you practically load balancing is happening or not. Good. Now let me go for service registry. Let me go for service registry. Right click, run as boot application. My service registry is running. Good. Clear that console. Go to here. Go to Eureka. Currently, any instance available? No instance available. Perfect. Go to admin server. Right click, run as boot application. Go to console. Clear the console. Refresh. What happened? Admin server is running. How many applications are there? 0 applications are available for that. Okay. Then next one. Zipkin. Already Zipkin is running. Already Zipkin is running. Now, nothing is available as a trace in the Zipkin. Okay. Observe. Guys, greet API, I'm not going to run directly. Why? Because if I run directly, what port number it will take? Embedded container 8080. I don't want 8080. I want to give the port number 8081 for one instance, 8082, 8083, 81, 82, 83. 3 times I will run the same project. Now observe. I am not hard coding the port number. I'm not hard coding the port number. Right click, run as run configurations. I want to supply port number in the runtime by using VM argument. You know command line argument. Now I am talking about VM argument. Command line argument is nothing but the argument which we will give as an input for the main method. That is called command line argument. VM argument means the argument which we will give as an input for the JVM directly. Are you getting my point? Command line argument is available, VM argument is available. What is the difference between CMD argument and VM argument? What is the difference between CMD argument and VM argument? CMD argument nothing but input for the main method. VM argument nothing but input for the JVM. I will tell to JVM, take this VM argument and start the embedded server by giving to boot. Okay, right click. Right click on the Greet API. Observe guys, when you are running this project, you should follow the same step. Otherwise, you cannot see load balancing. If you want to practice load balancing, this step is very important. I am using environment object. Why? Just for our understanding purpose. Tomorrow, if you ask, sir, load balancing you told, but where is the practical proof for that? So to show you the practical proof, I am using environment object here. By using that, I am calling get property. I will get the port number in which is server. This request is processed. That server port number I'm sending in the response. Okay, good. Right click on the Greet API. Run as run configuration. Good. Earlier we used run as boot app. If I use the boot app directly, it will start embedded container with the default port number 8080. I don't want that. Run configurations. In the run configuration, if you see in the menu, here there is an option called boot application. There is an option called boot application. Which application we need to run now? Greet application. Select that Greet application. Run configuration under Spring Boot. Select which application you want to run. I want to run Greet application. Okay. After, go to arguments. Program arguments, VM arguments. Program arguments means command line. VM means JVM. -d server dot port is equal to 8081. That is my port number. What is the property I am passing now? -d server dot port number. Click on apply. Click on run. Now I have started my Greet API with the port number 8081. So port number is fixed or port number I am supplying in the runtime? Runtime. Go to Eureka, refresh. Greet API started running with the which port number? 8081. Currently, how many instances available? Only one instance is available. Now go back, right click, run as same, run configuration. Go to the boot app, Greet API, arguments. Now I will give port number as 8082. Apply and run. I am starting same project in the another server. I am running the same project in the another server. Right. Go to Eureka, refresh. Now can you see how many instances available? 2 instances available. One instance is running on the port number 8081. Another instance running on the port number 8082. Can I run in one more server? How? Right click, run as, run configuration, arguments 8083. 8083. Click on apply, click on run. Click on apply, click on run. Perfect. I'm running my application. It started. Go here, refresh. How many available now? 3. One project running in 3 servers. This is called running the project with multiple instances. In the real time, same thing will happen. They will run one project in multiple servers. Why we will run one project in multiple servers? Which is used for load balancing. It is used for load balancing. Are you clear? Perfect. Now let me go and start my welcome API. Welcome API, I will run in only one server. Same process if you want to implement load balancing for welcome API also. Now let me go for welcome API, right click, run as boot app. What is the port number for welcome API? 9091. Right. Welcome API is starting. Go to console. Welcome API started. Go to console. Refresh. Come on. Now check the Eureka dashboard. How many APIs are available? 2 APIs are available. How many instances available? 4 instances available. For Greet API, 3 instances available. For Welcome API, 1 instance is available. What is the meaning of instance? Instance means a copy. What is the meaning of that? Instance means copy. So it is like a Xerox. Greet API running in 3 servers. Same code, same logic. The only thing is running in 3 servers. It is running in 3 servers. Are you able to follow me? Come on, guys. Yes, Grid API running in the 3 servers. Now, let me go to admin. Can you check it? What it is saying? Grid API, 3 instances are available. 2 applications available. Grid application, welcome application. But instances, 4. What is the health? All are up and running. 3 instances available for the Grid API. Welcome API available as only 1 instance. Are you getting? Now go to Zipkin. Anything available? Nothing is available. Let me access Greet API first. How many URLs are there? How many URLs are there now? 3 URLs are available. Now go here, localhost colon 8081/welcome. 8081. Sorry. 8081/greet. What is the response? So what is this 8081? This request is processed by the server which is running on the port number 8081. Okay. Suppose if I go here, localhost colon 8082. Localhost colon 8082/greet. Then second server also working? Yes. Now go to third server, localhost colon 8083/greet. What happened? Come on. Third server is executed. Localhost colon 8081, localhost colon 8081, localhost colon 8082, localhost colon 8083. So 3 servers are running for the same project. Same application I am running in the 3 servers. Now this is not important. Leave it. Now let's go for Welcome API. Now let's go for Welcome API. What is the logic in the Welcome API? Come on. What is the logic available in the Welcome API? My Welcome API having a FIN client. Earlier, yesterday's story is different. Today's story is different. Now here in the Welcome controller, I am calling Greet REST controller by using FIN client. When I send a request to /welcome URL pattern, when I send a request to /welcome URL pattern, then it will invoke the Greet API. Go and check this method. Is there any logic available to invoke? Is there any logic available to invoke? No. What I am telling, PN client for the Greet API, get the URL of the Greet API and send the request to this URL pattern. What happened yesterday? Whenever I call this method, my PN client will go to service registry. Hey, service registry, give me the URL for the Greet API. Earlier, how many URLs available for Greet API? There is only 1 URL available for the Greet API. Observe carefully, guys. Very, just 2 minutes discussion, but very important concept. Programmatically, no need to do anything. Already load balancing is there. If I hit the URL, load balancing will happen. That is not important. How it is working internally, that is the important part. Concentrate, all of you. Now, I'm going to send a request for Welcome REST controller, localhost colon 9091/welcome. When I send that request to that URL, what will happen? Request will go to Welcome REST controller method. What is there in the Welcome REST controller method? Greet client dot invoke Greet API. It is going to call this method. This method is available in the normal interface or PN client interface. This method is available in the PN client interface. What is the name I have given for the PN client? Greet API. So now, who will maintain the API name and API URL? Service registry will maintain that. Which server we are using as service registry? Eureka server. Which server we are using as service registry? Eureka server we are using as a service registry. Are you getting my point? Fine. So now PN client will go to service registry. Hey, service registry, I have the API name. Can you give me the URL for the API? Yesterday, what happened? There is only one URL available. Service registry given the URL to the PN client. PN client accessed that URL and gave the response to us. That response we combined and we sent a final response. But today's story is different. Now, when I send a request for welcome REST controller, it is going to access this method. Now here, when I access this method, internally it is calling greet client.invoke greet API. When you go for this method, it will take the service name and it will try to get the service URL. Who will maintain the service name and service URL? Come on, who will maintain the service name and service URL? Eureka server will maintain the service name and service URL. Now, PN client will go to this service registry. Hey, service registry, give me the URL for greet API. Give me the URL for greet API. What service registry will do? It will give all the three URLs. Are you getting my point? If there is only one URL, no need to discuss anything. Directly take the URL, send the request and get the response. But today, I am running my greet API in 3 servers. I'm running the greet API in the 3 servers. Able to follow me? Good. So when PN client asking service registry to give the URL, service registry is giving 3 URLs to the PN client. Now, PN client will get confusion. Hurray, which URL I need to use to access that? Yesterday, there is only one URL. There is no confusion. Directly access that. Now I have 3 URLs. Which URL I need to access? That is confusion for the PN client. That is ambiguity for the PN client. Are you getting my point? Now, if I go for REST template here, yesterday I used REST template. In the REST template, always we will give one URL. But my project is running in 3 URLs. So if I go for REST template, can I achieve load balancing? If I go for REST template, can I achieve load balancing? No. Why? For the REST template, I need to give only one URL. Always my request will go to same URL. There is no use of this load balancing. If I hit always the same URL, what is the problem? Always the request will go to same server. Then burden will be increased on the server. Server will crash. Our application will go down. That's my point. That's why never run our real projects in the single server. Always our projects will run in the multiple servers to distribute the load to multiple servers. That concept is called as load balancing. Now here, when I send this request, PN client will go to service registry. Service registry will give 3 URLs. Today 3, tomorrow it may be 2, it may be 5, it may be 10, it may be 20 also. Getting my point? Now, PN client will get the URLs. After getting the URLs, PN client got confused. Boss, which URL I need to use? So here, to avoid that confusion, in the Spring Cloud, there is another concept available. That concept is called as a ribbon. What is the concept, guys? Ribbon. This PN client is going to communicate with the ribbon. Hey friend, I have 3 URLs. Please tell me, I got confused with the URLs. Which URLs I need to use to access that API? That confusion I have. Could you please help me to resolve the confusion? Then ribbon will come into picture. Ribbon will decide which URL PN client should use to access the greet API. That ribbon internally will follow round robin technique. Boss, you have 3 URL. Give me those. Okay. First request, take this URL. Second request, take this URL. Third request, take this URL. Like that, load balancing will be happening in our application by using PN client and Ribbon. Got it? Now, let me send the request. Go to /welcome, send the request. Perfect. Which API responded to me? 8081. How many instances available for the grid? 3 instances available for the grid. I'm sending the request for welcome API. Welcome API communicating with the grid API. Welcome API communicating with the grid API directly or through PN client? Through PN client. For the PN client, I have given API name or API URL. API name. Why not API URL? If I give the URL, it is a hard coded. URL will change tomorrow and my API can have multiple URL. Which URL you will give? I don't know. So that's why I have given API name. When I give the API name, what my PN client is doing? It is talking to service registry based on the API name. It is getting the API URL. For that API, how many URLs available? Come on, guys. 3 URLs available. When 3 URLs available, which URL it is using? First URL. Who decided that? Ribbon. Now let me send second request. Let me send the second request. Observe. Come on. So request is processed by which server in the grid API? Second server. Let me send one more request. Enter. Processed by third server. Send one more request. First server, second server, third server, first server, second server, third server. What is this concept? Load balancing. So requests are going to the same server or requests are distributed to multiple servers. Every web application you are accessing will execute like this only. Your Gmail, your Facebook, your Naukri, LinkedIn, any application, Instagram, any famous application, because millions of users, crores of users will be accessing those applications. If they run in one server that cannot handle, Facebook application may be running in 100 servers. We don't know. They will not tell that. What is the load balancing technique they are having? They will not tell you that. So that load balancer concept is used to distribute the load. Now, I'm sending the request to my welcome API. What my welcome API is doing? I'm sending the request to grid API or welcome API. I'm sending the request to welcome API. What happened in the welcome API? PN client is available. PN client is talking to service registry to get the service URL. How many URLs available? How many URLs available, guys? There are 3 URLs available. Which URL it is using to access the grid API? Which URL it is using to access grid API? Based on the ribbon, that is following round robin. What is the meaning of round robin? First request will go to first API, first instance. First request will go to first instance. Second request will go to second instance. Third request will go to third instance. So load is there on the single instance or load is distributed to 3 instances? Load is distributed to 3 instances. Now I am getting more traffic. I'm getting more traffic. Can I increase the instances now? Yes. Let us see here. Go to grid API, right click, run as, run configuration, arguments. What is that? Grid API. Select that. Select the API name. Grid API 8084. I am running 4th instance for the grid API. Round robin method should work now. My welcome API should use the 4th instance also now. Automatically without stopping anything. I'm increasing one instance. That is called scalability. What is that concept? Scalability. Based on the demand, we need to increase the count of the servers and we need to decrease the count of the servers. Able to follow me? Good. Now let us see. Eureka server. How many are there? 4 instances are available. Go here. Send the request. Request processed by which server? Second, now, first, now, third, now, second, first, third. Time lagega. Still it is not updated there. It is taking time. Still my requests are processing by how many servers? Only 1, 2, 3 is processing that request. Fourth also will come. Let's give some time for that. It has to update in the PN client. Now see guys, request processed by which server? Third server. Now second server. Now first server. Now so automatically fourth server is handling our request or not? Who is distributing the load? Ribbon. Ribbon is deciding that which instance should execute to process our request. Now tell me, what is the load balancing and why we need to go for load balancing? What is the load balancing and why we need to go for load balancing? Load balancing is used to distribute the load to multiple servers. Why we need to go for that? To achieve high availability for the application. If I run application in one server, then it will crash. If I run the application in only one server, when many people are accessing, application will crash. So that's why in the real time, people will run our application in multiple servers and they will distribute the load to all the servers by using load balancing. Am I writing any code for that? No, the only thing is PN client I'm using. Now tell me, for inter-service communication, REST template is recommended, web client is recommended, or PN client is recommended? PN client is recommended. Why? Internally load balancing is available. So if I go for a REST template or web client, I have to give the service URL. Service URL can change. Service URL can change in the future. Service URLs can increase. Service URLs can decrease. So for the inter-service communication, always recommended to go for PN client. The advantage is we are not hard coding the URL. It is getting the URL from the service registry. If one URL available, directly accessing that. If multiple URLs are available, it is going for load balancing. Do I need to write any code, or it is already implemented in the in the PN client? Already implemented in the PN client. Can I say PN client is polymorphic now? If there is one URL, sending the request to only that URL. If I have 3 URLs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like that, it is distributing the traffic in the round robin fashion. Now, whatever I have done is, that is called manual load balancing, manual scaling. First I started 3 instances for the greet API, 1, 2, 3. Okay, fine. Now assume that more number of users are coming to my application. More number of users are coming to my application. 3 servers also not sufficient. I have started 10 servers. Can I start that? Can I start the 10 instances also? Yes. 10 servers I will start. Still, those are also not sufficient. Then what I will do? I will go for, come on, I will go for another 10 servers. I will run my project in 20 servers, 30 servers, 40 servers, depends on the incoming traffic. Depends upon the incoming traffic. So if there is a demand, then we need to increase that count. Are you guys able to follow me? If a more number of requests are coming, then I need to increase my instances also. Now let's take an example. First, I have started my API with 3 instances. These are called as 3 servers. I'm running my project in the 3 server. Now, I will tell you real problem in the companies. I will tell you real problem in the companies. So assume that my project is running in 10 servers. Same project running in the 10 servers. I'm getting more traffic. 10 servers are also becoming slow. My project is not responding quickly. I increase it to 20 servers. I increase it to 20 servers. Okay, fine. Application is running as expected. People are coming, servers are up and running, able to process. My business is running smoothly. Now I got the idea. Whatever the courses we are giving, let us give for 50% discount to attract more people. Now I am giving Big Billion Day 50% offer tomorrow. 50% offer tomorrow. In general, I am getting, assume that 1 lakh RPM. What I am getting? 1 lakh RPM. 1 lakh requests per minute. That is a normal day. Normal day, I am getting 1 lakh requests per minute. Tomorrow, Big Billion Day, 50% offer. I am expecting 25 lakh requests per minute because of the 50% offer. 25 lakh requests I'm going to get. Okay, to handle 25 lakh requests, I have purchased 100 servers. I purchased 100 computers. In 100 computers, I'm running my application because tomorrow Big Billion Day is available. More users will come to my project. My application should not go down. If my application is down, people will go to my competitor application. Got my point? So that is the reason I invested a lot of money. I purchased 100 servers to run my application by expecting 25 lakh requests per minute. Okay, now Big Billion Day started at 9 a.m. I am getting 10 lakh requests. I'm getting 10 lakh requests. Slowly, people increased. 9:15 a.m. it reached to 20 lakhs. Reached to 20 lakhs. At 9:30, it reached to 30 lakhs. Come on, what happened? Performance will be good or performance will be bad? Performance will be bad. My expectation is only 25. For that, I am taking only 100 server. But 30 lakh requests are coming. Slowly, my application performance is getting down. That will affect my business. That will affect my business. Now, what I need to do? I need to increase from 100 servers to 120 servers. All of a sudden, I added 20 servers to my application. Then total 120 servers are running. Total 120 servers are running. Okay, I'm happy. So many people are coming, purchasing my products in the website, application running smoothly. At 10 a.m., politician, assume that central minister met with accident. One central minister in our India met with one accident. Then what will happen? People will still do the shopping. People will go for news channel. Come on, people will go to news channel. People mind will be diverted. Arey, what happened? Where is the accident? When that accident happened? How that accident happened? How many people are there in that car? Okay, who met with the accident? What is his condition? To which hospital is going? Who is the next minister? N number of dramas will happen in the media. Okay, then people will divert from my application to media. 10 o'clock, accident happened. 10:15, news channels started. By 10:30, I'm getting 2 lakh requests. People are diverted. People are diverted to media. What about my 120 servers? Is there any use? It's waste of my money. I wasted. I purchased 120 servers to run my application. I expected people will come. People came, but after some time, due to some incident, people diverted. So this is the problem in the real time. We cannot predict how many requests will come to our application per minute. When huge traffic will come, when the less traffic will come, we cannot guess that. That's where in the industry, people will go for a concept called auto scaling. What is the concept, guys? Auto scaling. What is the meaning of auto scaling? You no need to decide number of servers. System will decide. When more number of requests are coming, more servers will be added. When the traffic is reduced, servers will be removed. That automatic scaling will be there in the real time. If you want to go for that kind of auto scaling, we need to go for cloud computing. AWS, Azure, GCP, those platforms will provide auto scaling for us. Okay, so whatever we have done today, that is manual scaling. What is the meaning of manual scaling? Adding the server, removing the server manually, that is called as manual scaling. But in the real time, do you think can Amazon company imagine how many people will access that application today at 5 o'clock, today at 8 o'clock, tomorrow? They don't know. So what they will do? They will enable auto scaling. Auto scaling means automatically servers will be increased, servers will be decreased based on the demand. Based on the demand. So we will go for AWS classes. There we will see what is auto scaling. Got my point? Good. So tell me, what is load balancing and what is auto scaling? Load balancing is used to distribute the burden to multiple servers. What is the advantage? Performance. What is the advantage with that, guys? The advantage is we are going to get the good performance. Good performance. So if one person doing the complete work, he will get tired. If I distribute the work to three people will share the work. Similarly, instead of running the project in one server, I will run the project in multiple servers. So every server will take the request in the round robin fashion. Okay. So with this we understood load balancing. Load balancer using ribbon. In the microservices, we are going to implement load balancer concept by using ribbon. Ribbon is inbuilt concept when you go for PN client. When you go for PN client, it is a inbuilt concept. Now you understand the advantage of going with the PN client? Yes. What is the advantage? We no need to hard code the URL. Tomorrow, if instances increase or decrease, do I need to bother about that? No. But if I go for REST template, I have to hard code the URL. Always it will talk to the same URL. But my Grid API URLs are dynamic. I may increase the instances, I may decrease the instances. PN client is the best option when you want to go for inter-service communication with the load balancing technique. Are you clear, guys? Good. What is auto scaling? Come on, what is auto scaling? It is used to increase and decrease the instances count based on the demand. Fine, perfect. Next one, we need to understand what is API gateway. How to implement API gateway in our microservices, we have to understand. Can you tell me what is API gateway? What is API gateway? API gateway is the entry point for all our microservices. API gateway is the entry point for all the microservices. Any request that is coming to our backend APIs, that should go through API gateway. Inside the API gateway, we can write the filter logic and we can write the routing logic. Filter will be available and routing will be available. What is the filter? Any unwanted request is coming, I can stop it. So some unwanted request is coming to my application, is not our client. I don't want to process. So I can do such kind of validation on the request. I can stop it in the API gateway only. Simple example, our house is having a main gate. So there will be a watchman. Simple example, if you go for any IT company, at the gate, security guard will be available. What that security guard will do? He will check the ID card. If you don't have ID card, no entry, stop it. If you have ID card, allow. Like that, any request which is coming to our application, I can check it. Is it a valid request or not? If it is a valid request, then only I will allow. If it is not a valid request, I will not allow. If it is a valid request, that request should go to which API? That is called routing. Filter will be available plus routing will be available in the API gateway. What is the purpose of the filter? It is used to filter the request which we want to process, which we don't want to process. What is the routing? It is used to request will come from the UI to API gateway. From API gateway, it should go to first API or second API or third API. That routing logic also we can write in the API gateway. Are you clear? Tomorrow, I'm going to implement API gateway with routing, with the filter. So today, I want you people to practice this application with the load balancing. Okay, tomorrow we'll discuss about the API gateway concept. Any questions, anyone from online? Online students, anybody having any doubt? You can unmute and you can ask me.
Hi,
Online
sir.
students.
Sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir. Tell me.
Sir, we can use load balancing with the help of REST template also.
How?
Like we have to use annotation, enable load balancing, and that.
You
There
need
will,
to specify
and-
hard-coded URLs for the REST template. Na? REST template cannot talk to service registry.
Sir, with the REST template, we can use service name also, na?
No, man,
With the
there
help
is
of
no
enable
option
load
for that.
balancing.
No. In the REST template, we don't have that option. For the REST
Can
template,
use that.
whatever the method you want to call in the REST template, always you need to provide the service URL for that.
Yes,
Okay.
Hello. Hi, also,
Hi,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Thomas
sir.
here.
Yeah, sir. Please tell me, what is your question?
Sir, actually, suppose welcome one application is there. So if you deploy to one server, suppose we have to deploy 3 instances. Okay. So suppose 1 millisecond, suppose 100 requests will come. So is there any like a chance the first instances will get a 330 request or second instance will get 40 requests? Not like that, right? Then
No,
how
round robin will be implemented.
So it will be round robin for it will work for internally, right?
Yes, internally it will take care of round robin. You don't need to do anything for that.
Then we cannot bother about that. How many requests will come to first instance and second instance or third instance?
Yes,
right?
no, you don't need to bother about it.
Okay, sir.
Hi,
Sir,
sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, hi sir, good evening.
Sir, we are using Fen client to not hardcode the URL, right, sir?
Correct, correct.
But sir, the endpoint we are hardcoding it, and it is the part of the URL also.
Which
So
one?
suppose
That
the
is a
end-
method URL pattern. I'm not talking about method URL patterns will not change, man. URL nothing but localhost colon 8081 up to that. This is method URL pattern.
but it can be changed now,
Yes, we can change it.
and then it will be the part of the URL. Then
I'm telling you, in the API, you will not change method URL patterns every day, but application URLs can change. That is what I'm telling. Are you going to change API URL pattern every day in the project? It is one time only you are going to right now. You don't
Yes.
need to bother about this pattern. Name will not be changed. Pattern will not be changed. URL means context path. Localhost colon 8081, 8082. Those URLs are going to change. Not this pattern will change.
okay, sir.
looks like
Got it.
endpoint URL will change. That's it.
Ah, right.
Yes, sir. Hi, sir. This is Furkan. I
Yes.
had also the same doubt. It got clear. But one more doubt I have, sir. If we are using load balancing and we are sending the request to different servers,
Correct.
and if you want to fetch the like data, so we have to go through all those servers. So
Not
is it
required.
going to?
Not required.
Oh.
Because these REST APIs are stateless applications. There is nothing like session management in the REST API. You don't need to go for all the URLs. Same code will execute in all the APIs. Na? Your request will be processed by any one of the server. As an end user, you will not know about that.
Okay, sir. One more question I have. Like we are using GeoCinema for watching IPL. So in that case, like are they scaling up? Like if there is a match of Chennai versus Mumbai, so are they auto scaling every day?
Auto
or
scaling will be there. Yes, auto scaling will be there.
so
When
are
the
they
traffic is increasing, it will increase the servers.
and like descaling? If you want to remove those some servers, so it will happen automatically. Or we have to
Automatically,
do-
scale up, scale down, both are part of auto scaling. Scale up,
Okay.
scale down, both are part of auto scaling.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Good, sir.
Yeah, sir, I have a question.
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah, sir, in real-time environment, like for example, here you have I make 4 instances of, but in real-time environment, that will be for different servers kept at different locations,
Yes,
with their own like URL to access their IP address.
right.
So in
Network
that way,
configuration will happen.
Yes, sir. Sir, I was about to ask that in the network configuration, do we have to do that, or it will be automatically taken
No,
care
no,
by
no.
Fed
When
client?
you go for 4 servers will be created in the AWS cloud under same network. That is called VPC.
Okay.
Those 4 servers will be belongs to the same VPC in the AWS cloud. Okay.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Then they can connect directly. Yeah. Fine, guys. Good. I want all of you to practice this project, guys. This microservices mini project development is very, very, very important to get the clarity. Don't just listening the classes. You need to practice. I have given the notes step by step. Have you seen the notes? Yes, in that everything is available step by step to practice. Even API gateway, you can practice on your own. In the notes, I have given the details also. Tomorrow, I will explain about API gateway with the filters and routings. Fine, guys. Good. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. And JRTP people, today, people missed the class. Password encryption, decryption. Watch the video. The topic I'm not going to explain once again. Who missed the class today morning? Watch that video and practice that. Today, 6 more questions added. Tomorrow, I want answers for those questions also. Tomorrow also, if you don't come up with the answers in a notebook, you no entry for the class. Right? Make sure that. How to? If you want to decrease the server, you can go to the console. You can stop that server. There are 4 instances available now. You can stop 1 instance. Tomorrow I will show you. Just you can go to the console, stop it. If you stop the server, it will be removed from that. Then 3 servers will handle our requests. Okay, good guys. We'll see you in the tomorrow morning. Write the answers for the total 12 questions. Tomorrow I will check it. That is for you only. Today I have seen 20+ people did not write it. Why are you coming to the classes? I don't know. Why you are this much irresponsible? It is going to help you to attend your interviews. It will help you to crack your interviews. Take it seriously, guys. As I told you, another 40 days I will be there with you. After that, what you will do? How you will get the job? When you are not good in the subject, whatever I am telling, you are not able to copy paste from the Google. That much lazy fellows are there in the class. Yesterday, very clearly I told that notebook is mandatory for your interview preparation. Half of the people, not half, 80% of the people did not do. Today I have taken class for 10 people. I explained password details. You missed that class. It is your responsibility, guys. If you practice, then only you will get the subject. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.